All right, so yep, I'm Matt, Potatoofdoom is what I go by. I'm here to introduce you guys to OpSec Computer. We are, for those of you that don't know, basically infrastructure. Stage? Cameras, right? Forgot about the cameras. Okay, so OpSec Computer, we're basically infrastructure as a service, and we are here to basically bring decentralized cloud solutions to the masses. So, a little bit about me. I got my start basically building up data centers. Okay, all right, sorry. Cabling, doing data runs, networking jacks, all that sort of fun physical infrastructure sort of stuff. That got pretty tiring pretty quickly, so I moved into software development, mainly Rails, Python, a lot of JavaScript sort of stuff. And then, yeah, actually, I was doing technical writing here at D-Link in Taipei when I first started getting into mining. So that was a lot of fun and basically kind of propelled me into my crypto journey. So I started mining Bitcoin with GPUs like 2015, something like that. Started setting up nodes, infrastructure, built that out, finally had 3 data centers, 2 in central Washington, 1 here in Taiwan. And somewhere along the way, I became an Amazon certified cloud dev. So that's kind of what I did before COVID. So, and then now Web3 stuff. That basically, COVID happened, Bitcoin did its thing. We went through a couple cycles there. I got down really into doing smart contract writing, about a lot of back-end stuff. Became a developer DAO member pretty early on. Started Psychedelica, which was a generative art NFT that I did with a friend. And that basically led into Alpha Gaming DAO, which was a GameFi-focused DAO on the Harmony network. So for those of you who've been around for a while, that was a lot of fun until it wasn't. The Harmony Bridge got hacked and our user base basically disappeared overnight. So from there, I went on to work at Consensus. So I did a lot of support, back-end support with off-chain labs for Arbitrum. And then I was also working with Starbucks and a couple other companies for doing basically blockchain as a service sort of stuff. So tying back into what OpSec does. And then the past year, I founded Freak Trade Hub, which is my own little project for trading online DeFi stuff. And then, yeah, so now I'm the OpSec, basically developer relations guy. And so with that all said and done, so let's get started. So OpSec, we are basically infrastructure as a service, and we're trying to give you guys, the tools that you need to deploy a decentralized web for anybody. And we're trying to get as, developers, end users, everybody on board. So the stuff that we think, for example, like nodes, things that everyone should have access to, the backbone of what blockchain is and how it runs. That should be, an integral part of the network. And so that's basically what the problem is, right? So traditional cloud solutions, data centers, all that stuff is complicated, right? If you're doing just cloud stuff, you've got all the different things that you got to worry about, the hardware specs, the different setup solutions, how are you going to do your routing, proxies, all that. It's a chore, right? Full stack development is never easy, right? So what you want, right? Everyone, they just want to get commit, get push, hit refresh on their thing, on their browser, and see their app, right? But if you're going to do, from the ground up, if you're on a bare metal, or if you're doing a cloud service solution, I mean, that's your basic runbook, right? Find a VPS, get everything installed, deployed, run all the things, maintain all the things, keep things running, right? So we're here to basically give you guys, the one-click or one command, really, solution so that you can just get back to working on what it is that you want to do, what you're here for, right? You want to build, you want to dev stuff. You don't want to have to think about, all your different infrastructure, structure and all that sort of stuff. And so those are our key pillars right now. So right now, what's available? You can go and check out our node marketplace. So we've got a bunch of nodes set up, and it's super simple, right? You go and sign up, get your credits, and it's basically a one-click setup, 10 minutes, and everything's up and provisioned and running, right? And then we're working on a roadmap, the OpSec first cloud. We've got the decentralized network built into it, the security platform that's basically securing the network. And then, so what we're offering right now for the hackathon, and I'll get more into this in a little bit, is basically VPSs, right? Servers that you can get into if you want to dev, you want to build out on top of a node, or if you're doing some sort of mining project. Those are the things that you can work on, right? So yeah, in a nutshell, that is us. That's OpSec, right? So we're trying to give you guys the tools, either one click to get on our network, or the one command to get started, and it just gives you the infrastructure that you need, right? So for ETHTaipei, the reason why we're here right now, what we're doing, is we're going to talk about nodes. That's what's live, that's what's going on, and that's what you can actually work with and build on right now. Okay, so everyone knows what nodes are. We're going to do the basics here and get back to basics. We all know blockchain nodes, what things are built on, right? You need them. They secure the network, they do all the processing, right? Ensure transparency, they give everyone, open door coming to the network. That's how you get started, right? Security-wise, they're essential, right? 51% attacks. You need nodes in order to secure your network. And guaranteed distribution, computational power, depends on how your nodes are set up and what your network is meant to do, depending on what you're trying to accomplish. If you're going for finality or if you're going for throughput, those are all different things that your nodes have to be able to handle, configured correctly depending on what you're doing. So, yeah, so I was in the crowd yesterday when Vitalik did this little survey, so I'm curious, how many of you guys right now are actually running a node of any type? Okay, got it, good. I've got one. All right, I am too, all right? I still run nodes. I mean, it's just, if you believe in blockchain, you should be doing it, right? It's something that it takes strain off of the core network. If you're using your own node, if you're working on your own stuff, you're not sending out calls to other people. And it's just like regular DNS, right? If you can offload DNS requests to some other secondary server, it gives the heavy lifters more resources to do what they need to do. So if you've got your own resources to run a node, by all means do it. But if you don't, that's what OpSec is here. That's what we're trying to do for you. So we're trying to reduce or remove the barrier to running nodes for everybody. So actual benefits of running nodes on a testnet, right? So if you're building anything, obviously you don't want to do it on mainnet, right? You don't want people to know if you screw up it's public, right? You don't want to risk funds. You don't want to waste resources, and you're trying to break things, right? You're going to break things. It's a test net, right? So hands-on learning, experience, all that fun stuff. And more recently, the current meta is it's a cool way to get people into your ecosystem, right? You can do the whole points thing, get people involved, get them into your network, running, build out your network. That's the goal, right? So those are the tangible benefits what you get right now. Besides all the warm fuzzy stuff, you're actually helping building and being part of the community. The speculative benefits, right? Everyone's talking about airdrops. So points, whether it's actual tokens, native tokens, or if it's points for the network, and then that stuff gets traded on secondary markets like Whale Watch or whatever. That's what happens. And that's something cool that's going on right now. And if you devs are interested in getting involved, one of the new node providers that we just spun up is actually running in parallel this weekend, this little competition, Clash of the Nodes, right? So if you spin up one of their nodes and end up using it, the challenge basically, as long as you're up and running it and you're sending transactions, and I believe they're trying to get you to, I don't know, the next slide, or I think that's in the hackathon section. Anyways, you're trying to break something, right? You're sitting there on their test net, you're putting strain on their nodes and their validators, and you're trying to help move things along, right? So that's really cool. There are actual benefits to being a part of the developer experience for both the developer and users, right? They get the airdrop rewards, they get rewarded, and then it's just a flywheel. It's just, you get them into your ecosystem and it just goes. So that's how do you get involved, right, for the hackathon this time. What we're doing is we're offering a couple nodes that you could actually get on full VPS as long as you are using it for one of the other hackathon things that are going on here. That's perfectly fine. And so yeah, get on the test net, use our pre-configured node, hop in our Discord, get involved with the community, and yeah. So real quick, overview of what it looks like if you go and get signed up. This is basically the dashboard and the DApp itself. So you sign in, it'll show you how many nodes are running, what's actually happening in the network, and yeah, super simple, guys. Just load it up with credits, click the button deploy, and then we'll give you your details, and you can connect over it, SSH, RDP, whatever you want. And so at the moment, supported live nodes, but everything's just testnet. I want to make that clear. Tycho, Optimism Base, Zora, Starknet, Linea, Eigenlayer, Shardium. So lots of choices to choose from, and we're bringing more on all the time. And if you are at L2 or any type of network, and you've got nodes, testnets that you want to run, come please talk to myself, Steven, or Oliver there in the background, and we'd love to figure out what you guys are building. All right, so it's early. Where are we on the roadmap? We're down here, right? So we're building out Cloudverse. We are giving you guys the nodes, the RDP, the VPSs that you can go in, start building stuff. So we're going to go from there. If you've been following along, we actually got our Tau, Tensor Tau key. So we're working on integrating that. We're working on our L1, getting that spun up and ready for public, and then moving on into the CloudSec. So all future phases. Okay, so now for the hackathon, what you guys can build on. There's plenty of cool things that you can do building on a private node. If you're doing any of these things. These are perfect examples. If you're doing anything DeFi financial, you want to run private nodes in the background for yourself, do all sorts of testing, figure out what works for you. That's one perfect example. If you are working on supply chain management solutions, that's another perfect example that you can that utilize private nodes in the background, right? Because you want to maybe use some type of zero-proof knowledge, wrap up what transactions you're doing. You don't want the public to actually know, but what you're working on and what it is that you're storing on the blockchain, but they want to be able to see that data. So, and then healthcare, right? Regulatory stuff. That's another perfect example of where private blockchains would be used. And so yeah, just a little bit more about that Avail project, Clash of the Node challenges. That's actually currently, one of those challenges is live right now. You have to try to break their burn mechanism, I believe is what the goal of this particular sprint is. And so yeah, that's OpSec and me in a nutshell. You follow along on our website, and there is my socials. Yeah.
Thank you. So now, we have 5 minutes Q&A time. Do any people have questions for Matt or OpSec?
Hey, thank you for the talk. This was cool. I didn't know that much about nodes, so I appreciate the introduction. I was wondering, for the Clash of Clans, that sounds pretty cool. What do you do to incentivize or to encourage people to participate with the nodes? Like, what kind of rewards do you see out in the market that other chains are doing that you think are particularly effective at encouraging developers to participate?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, so that's actually super new. They, I think, announced it on Twitter last night, and so I was just like, okay, this is perfect for the hackathon. I'm just going to toss this in the presentation and let it go. But yeah, I mean, it's a fun thing for developers, right? They've kind of gamified it. And so you get the points basically, and I believe the way they're doing it for this one is a number of transactions, because they're trying to figure out a way, or if their burn mechanism can basically be broken, right? Treasury, they're testing their treasury, smart contracts and things like that. So the actual criteria is on Avail's blog, on their challenges, they detail it. I believe this time it's just number of transactions, and if you can successfully, for example, like this just happened yesterday, if they wrote their smart contract in a way where it doesn't actually check the balances, this happened last night, you can basically send in a deposit and it will send back, it's a money glitch, right? You get double your money back because they didn't do the math the correct way. So smart contracts like that's what they're really looking for devs to find. And if you find something like that, I don't know if they had a bounty, like an actual bug bounty for it, but I do know you get rewarded points. And then, so the two ways to speculate on that. Some networks will just straight out give you tokens, native tokens for their network, which is great. And that's actually what we'll end up doing too, right? So for the testnet nodes that we're running, if that network decides to drop tokens, whatever it may be, we will, get those rewards through the dashboard to the end user. So, and then, whether or not OpSec will come out with their own airdrop just for participating in participation, on top of that's, somewhere down the line, we'll work on that. But the other way to work on it too, if you're just farming airdrops, they have actually come up with secondary markets where you can just buy and sell your points that you've earned. So, yeah, it's Exciting times for, if you're not hunting for airdrops, you definitely should be.
Awesome. Thank you.
Does anyone have more questions for Matt or OpSec? Feel free to approach Matt after the talk. And yeah, we are having a